So after a 5-month hiatus, we're finally back, and today we're expanding Geonosis. So while I think I could agree with most of you that calling this week 10 is almost criminal, given that it's been many months since the last update in August of 23, here it is January of 2024. It's been quite a bit of time, but I do have a lot of progress to show you guys. And this is the last weekly segment. The next episode that comes after this will be the finale. So the next upload is the finale. That is super exciting and just shows you how close we are to finishing this mock. I have seen a lot of people just, if they're casually keeping up with my channel, just think that this whole mock is done. We're not done yet, and today just shows how much more we can add to this mock, and we still have more to do after this in that finale. So this might be on your mind. Why am I expanding Geonosis? It was already giant as is. Why do I need to make it any bigger? The answer is, after I took it to Brick Fair, Virginia last year, the LEGO convention where all the guys helped me finish up the terrain and get everything ready for the convention, it's when I took it there and set up an entire, full-scale invasion battle with all those Republic gunships, all those Republic dropships, ATTEs, all the Geonosian and droid vehicles, and realized that if I wanted to include as many vehicles as I had anticipated, that it looked way too cramped. Therefore, I knew that after the convention, I wanted to expand and build upon Geonosis to make it even larger so that we could space out those vehicles. Now, this expansion also opened up an opportunity to add another Easter egg room underneath more rock work that would, close off this one particular section. And so I decided to make a theater. A theater to watch Star Wars: The Clone Wars, specifically, of course, landing at Point Rain. So this is something I've been working on, tinkering with for about 2 months now, on and off, about how would I include something like this in a mock. I've never made a actual theater. How would I go about that? The answer was actually a lot more simple. Just use an iPad and plug it into the mock. And while that sounds simple, it definitely was more complicated than I was anticipating. For those of you interested, I'm using an iPad Pro. I think this is the 12.9-inch version. Honestly, any iPad works, but really the key here after experimenting was these rounded off Lego pieces. Plates, tiles, bricks, you name it. These are the key pieces to kind of slide in that iPad in and out without any friction between the bricks. This was kind of the key here. It's actually not the first time I've utilized these pieces. I utilized it actually in my Create mock, for those of you who might remember that. As for the way I went about this seating, it's oriented at a 45-degree angle. It actually benefited me with the iPad. I'll explain in a second. But as for the seats themselves, they're pretty relatively simple. And then, of course, I'm utilizing a snot technique, or studs not on top. That's where I'm utilizing headlight bricks inside those giant triangles, and that's what's connecting the seats to them. And you can see I'm also utilizing these snot bricks here on the side, and that's how that kind of just connects down into the theater area. It just all sits on tile. And so it's actually relatively simple, but it took me like 2 weeks to figure this out. Way too long than it actually probably should have, but here we are. Next, we have the very overly built roof. Honestly, it's just a giant brick that so happens to look like a ladder or steps on the side. But part of the reason why it's so overbuilt is so that I could take this hammer to it and hammer it down and make sure that it's nice and adhered and get all that clutch power from all those bricks. After the roof was attached, next came the rock work. I probably spent about 4 days crafting these different sections here, 5 in total. Honestly, they could have been made a lot quicker, but I intended to make them more unique than other areas that we've done previously, hence the little door there on the right side. And speaking of that little door, well, that leads to a hallway of nowhere. It's all blacked out, so it kind of looks ominous, like, oh, what could that be? I am going to play on that in the finale. You'll see. But for now, it's just a blank area. I am really excited to show you guys what I have in mind. As for the rest of the rock work, as you can see, they all fit in perfectly. There's a lot of different techniques being utilized here. Not just snot technique, but like a lot of those pieces are going in weird directions, and making that happen wasn't easy, but honestly, I kind of enjoy it. I've gotten so used to building this rockwork at this point because the mock is so huge. We've done, I don't know, at least 25 of these sections now. So it's pretty much in the back of my head, like of how to kind of mash this together and blend it all. And honestly, it turned out fantastic. As for the upper half, I wanted to get a little bit more interesting, a little bit more unique. So I've always wanted to make this little like gunner tower that we see in Landing at Point Rain. We never exactly see what it looks like from a far away point of view, but we can see a close-up view. And so I kind of had to interpret it in the way I thought it might look. And I think it came out looking pretty good. We have a couple Geonosians in this little, again, tower, and we have some different architecture going on. I even utilized this new barrel piece that just got released in that Tidy Plant set that came out like last month in December. Very useful. But again, going back to the Landing at Point Rain episode, this is the screenshot that I used as reference. Again, not too much to go on, but I am pretty happy with the final results here. And so let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I gotta also say that gun turret, that looks pretty accurate from that screenshot now that I'm comparing them side by side here in the edit of the video. That's pretty wild. Now, as for the backside of this gunner area, I utilized these newer pieces, and it didn't turn out exactly what I was hoping for, but it looks fine. You're really not going to see it that often. It's a different type of angle that's angled towards the back area, so is what it is. It still, I think, works just fine, and it looks great up on top of this mountain. So before we can finish off this section, we need to tile it off and add those floor details. So what do you guys think? Honestly, for me, I'm just happy that it blends so well with the previous section, that there isn't really a difference between the two, that it just kind of naturally comes in with each other. I love the line work. You know, honestly, it felt like I was painting with those tiles at first with this groundwork. And also, yes, that is the Technic Hailfire droid. Yes, it's out of scale, but it still looks really cool on the mock. Moving on. As for the line work, as for the tiles, I mean, as you can see here, it just has a really cool, deserty feel. You know, when the guys were here in August and we were all trying to figure out what we should do for the groundwork, I just randomly came up with, let's just do some random lines and see what it looks like, and kind of do like a contrasting thing. And it ended up working out so well. Now, as for what vehicles look like on it, as you can see, we can start to get that landing at Point Rain type of circle going on, which is awesome because we have that extra space available, which, again, that was kind of the purpose of this addition, this expansion of Geonosis, is so that we can add more vehicles. Now, as for what comes next, now that we have this expansion finished off, what leaves us is the droid factory, specifically the inside of the droid factory. Well, there's actually still a little bit of exterior there that still needs to be touched up, and we'll be doing that in the finale. But yes, nothing has happened on the interior. As you can see, I'm just utilizing it as a storage area for all the clone troopers. Hey, it is what it is. Also, here's a little tease for something else I've been working on. That'll also come in the finale. Overall, we're finally getting close to that finish line. I cannot wait to finally put the battle of my dreams together. Landing at Point Rain, the Geonosian Clone Wars arc, is truly the best in my opinion. And so being able to finally make that out of Lego is a dream come true, and we are that much closer to finishing that dream. Next, I'm trying to decide which Republic gunship I want to use. Originally, I thought I was just automatically going to use the 2013 gunship. I already have 6 to 7 of those models. But now that I've seen the newer Coruscant Guard gunship color swapped and on the mock, it's more accurate looking, and I'm kind of favoring that one now. So definitely let me know down in the comments below. Do you prefer the 2013 gunship, the good old classic, just amazing Lego set? Still, this thing holds up a decade plus later. It looks great, but it does work better, in my opinion, to go with this modded Coruscant color swapped gunship. And, adding the bubble turrets on it, it looks just like the one in the Landing at Point Rain episode. So I am very tempted to go with this, but I am curious to see what you guys think down in the comments below. I can't believe just how much area I have gained just with this one expansion. Obviously, we added a full 8 gray base plates to the mock now. I think this thing is topping out at least over 40 base plates. And in fact, let me do some measurements for you guys. All right, so that's 60 inches, 5 feet, and I'll put the metric conversion on for my international peoples out there. And then in terms of its length, I'm kind of excited. It comes in just a little over 15 feet long, or 181 inches. I'll put the metric conversion here on the screen. So yeah, 6 by 15. This is officially by far the largest footprint of any mock that I have ever created. And that's kind of insane. Something that still surprises me is that over the last 10 episodes really, of Geonosis being built, there's been an Easter egg and secret kind of hidden in plain sight that nobody has really picked up on, and I think it's going to stay that way until the finale. And maybe those of you diehard fans out there will go back and be like, oh my god, how did I miss that? It's so obvious. I can't wait to reveal what that is in the finale. Make sure you're subscribed, have those notifications on. It won't be another 5 months to the finale, and I'll see you guys real soon. Hope you guys have a great, wonderful day, and bye-bye.